Welcome back to King Estates video. This is Eduardo. Today I'm with Elena from Martinez Echevarria law firm, and we are going to be talking about the legal process when buying a property in the Costa del Sol. Hi Elena,
Hello,
how are you?
How are you? Fine, thank you.
Fine. Well Elena, please tell me about you and about your company.
Well, my name is Elena Arche. I'm a qualified lawyer since 2016.
Okay.
And I'm from Jerez de la Frontera, from Cádiz.
Oh, nice. I love the beaches that you have there in the beach in...
I don't have to say this, but they are the best ones.
Yeah, exactly. I know. You need to know them. They're fantastic.
And well, I'm working on the law firm Martinez Echevarria since 2022.
Okay.
And well, I can explain a little bit of our law firm. Our law firm has 325 employees, and 200 of them are lawyers. Our real estate department is one of the highest and strongest departments in our law firm. One of our most important capabilities is that we are able to provide representation and advice and legal advice to our clients in all of languages due to our international team.
Okay, fantastic. And you have offices all around Spain?
We have offices all around Spain, 21 offices, and also in Portugal and Turkey.
Fantastic. You know, Elena, when I'm always talking to my clients, I always say to them that it's very important to have a lawyer when you are buying a property in Spain. Why should they hire a lawyer here? What do you think? Why is it so important?
Well, buying a property, and most in a foreign country, is one of the most important milestones on everyone's life. So, if you hire a lawyer, an experienced lawyer, you will mitigate all the risks that may arise if you buy a property. Also, the Spanish legal system differs a lot from other countries.
Okay.
And it's very important to be able to coordinate all the tasks that we need to make between public and private organisms. So this is why I think it's very important to hire a lawyer in Spain to do this.
Okay, great.
This kind of purchase.
I mean, they need to, they have risk, you know, they are not living here. So for me, it's very important to have a legal advisor in this situation, you know?
I think so.
Elena, I also work a lot with people that want to buy a resale property or an off-plan property, something that is under construction. What are the main differences between both of them?
Here we can talk about two different things. The main difference, I think, it's regards on the timings and the taxes.
Okay.
Regards the timing, because in off-plan projects, you will usually need to wait more time because the promoter has to construct
of course.
And then you need to wait for the delivery of the property. And in resales, the process is faster because the construction already exists, and we only need to check all the documents, the legal documents, to be sure that the buyer doesn't have any risk. And regarding the taxes, there is another difference, and I think it's the main important difference between this kind of process. Because in off-plan projects, you will be paying VAT.
Okay.
On the price of the property, which nowadays is 10% of the price. Maybe in the future can change. Unfortunately, that things change but
a lot.
Today is 10%, and then you will have to pay another tax, which is called stamp duty,
okay,
which is 1.2% of the price without VAT,
okay,
without
fantastic.
the VAT.
Okay.
And then in the resales, you will be paying the transfer tax, which is 7% of the price.
Okay.
So I think these are the main difference between the two processes. Of course, there are more, but after we will see it.
And what are the legal steps to buying a new home?
Here again, we need to differentiate between off-plan projects and resales. But the common steps are the following. First of all, we always advise the clients to sign a power of attorney,
okay,
in favor of our law firm. With this power of attorney, we could obtain the NI number, which is the number to be able to pay taxes in Spain. So all buyers and sellers need to have one.
Okay.
It's a complicated task, so if we have the power of attorney from the clients,
it's much more easier.
It's easier for them. So this is the first one. Then the next steps are common in both processes, but inside of them there are differences.
Okay.
So first step is to sign a reservation agreement,
Okay.
to pay a deposit. Usually in resales, the clients are usually paying 6,000 euros. In off-plan projects, between
Could be
6,000 or 10,000, something
Yes,
like this.
that's normal.
The differences between both of them in the resales and the off-plan is that in resales we are going to try, if we advise the buyers, to write the main important things for the buyer. For example, imagine that the buyer, it's absolutely necessary for them to be able to rent the property in short-term rental,
Okay,
for example,
yes.
and they need a touristic license. We need to be sure that the property is able to rent in short-term rental, and there are some requirements that has to be that we need to have in the property. So at that point, we didn't make yet the due diligence. We need to subject the reservation document to this requirement of the buyer.
Okay, fantastic. So you can cover the client, the buyer.
Exactly. And
Okay.
if finally we find out that this requirement, the property is not going to have it, then we can ask for the reimbursement of the deposit
Okay, great.
and cancel the reservation agreement.
Okay, that's good to know that we are always thinking on them and cover them from any risk.
Exactly.
After the reservation contract, the next step is the arras contract. You will explain it better than me. So,
Yes, we call always a private purchase contract because
Okay.
we have different options of different kind of contract that we can use, but it's true that we usually use the arras.
okay. That's a Spanish name.
Yes,
no?
exactly. What the arras contract means. In that point, in the private purchase contract, the buyer is going to pay usually the 10% of the price.
Okay.
And then in this contract, we will be able to write the main terms of the final purchase.
Okay, fantastic.
Because with this, we want to be sure that both parties are safe and that we cover their interests.
Okay, fantastic.
In case that the buyer pays the 10% and finally the seller doesn't want to sell the property to that buyer, what will happen is that the seller will have to reimburse not only the 10% that the buyer has paid, but also the double.
Okay.
And in case the buyer doesn't want to continue with the purchase, he will lose the 10% of the price that he has already.
Well, and then the final step. The most important, no? To sign the deed. Okay, tell me please about that.
Well, at the completion, the buyer is going to pay the rest of the price, and at that point, the buyer is going to become the owner of the property, and the property is going to be delivered to him. When the buyer asks for a mortgage, we also advise and give representation to the buyer in coordination with the bank, and we are able to organize the deed, coordinating with the bank, and we can also, with the power of attorney that I told before, we are able to sign the deed also without the need of the client to be in person at the notary.
Okay, so they could be in their country and you can be signing for them.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is a service that, as most of our clients are foreign people, they use this service for their convenience.
Okay, great. Well, let's talk now about the legal steps in the off-plan projects.
In the regards to the reservation, the main objective of the reservation agreement in the off-plan project is to stop marketing a property.
Okay, yeah, to take it out of the market.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, I know. I always say to my clients, it's very important, you know, because someone come after you and buy it, and they will lose it.
Exactly.
You know?
And in off-plan projects, there are no risks at that point.
Okay.
As between the difference of the resale, that the property may have any problem. So here we don't have this problem.
Okay.
And at that point, the developer usually doesn't have the timing to be able to deliver the property. So the dates are estimations.
Okay.
So the most important objective of the reservation is to stop the marketing of the property.
Okay, Lea, and then we have the second step. I want to mention something, because the second step, depending the project, when they don't have the license yet, that second step, they will not pay it immediately, because in some cases they need to pay it between 1 month or 2 months after they pay the reservation contract, but in some other cases they need to wait.
Correct. Because the developer, until they have the building permit,
okay,
we are not going to advise the buyer to sign the contract, and they not usually do. So as soon as they obtain the building permit, which depends on the timings of the town hall,
yes,
sometimes it's a lot of time.
Of course.
When they have this permit is when they are going to ask the buyers to sign the private purchase contract.
Okay.
And at that point, in the off-plan project, they usually pay around the 30% of the price.
That's a normal.
Yes.
The average that they pay. Okay.
Yes. Maybe you can negotiate another kind of percentages, but usually they ask for the 30% of the price.
Okay. Yeah. Depending the developer, sometimes they negotiate a little bit that
they are
percentage.
flexible in that.
I know, but not always, but we could ask.
Yes.
We don't.
You can negotiate.
Exactly.
Also, you can ask for make another payments between the private purchase contract and the completion. Maybe they accept this.
Yeah,
also.
And sometimes they always give you the possibility. For example, I saw that you can pay a 30% and then in the middle of the construction you need to pay a 10% more and then another 10%. And then the difference at the end, or not,
yes,
go directly to the 70% at the end.
They usually are very flexible in that kind of things.
Okay, fantastic. And then we have the third step, or not, or
no,
something in the middle.
The most important thing of the private purchase contract in off-plan projects is that in our due diligence as lawyers, we take into account the guarantees that the developer is going to offer to the buyers. So at that point, when you are going to sign the contract, we need to be sure that the developer has the escrow account, the special account in which the amounts that the buyer is going to pay are going to be kept, and that the developer only can use in order to continue the construction.
Okay.
They cannot use for anything more than this. So it's a way to guarantee the funds of the buyers. Another thing is to be sure which kind of guarantee they are going to use.
Okay.
Usually they use, which is called in Spanish, avales, which is guarantees, and a bank gives to you this guarantee. So in case the developer goes to bankrupt, then your amount is safe in the bank and you can ask for the reimburse of this amount.
Okay.
So I think it's the most important thing in the off-plan project.
Yeah, that is a common question that clients make to us, because you don't want to lose your money, and me neither, and we don't want that too. That's why it's so important to have a lawyer to attend all these things. And then we have the third step, again, in the off-plan projects.
Yes, the last one. This is going to happen when the town hall gives the first occupation license to the developer, and at that point the developer is going to organize the deed with the buyers, and they are going to call the buyers or us as lawyers of the clients to be able to organize the completion. So at that point we are going to be able to sign the title deed of purchase at the notary.
And pay the difference.
And pay the rest of the price.
Okay. And what is that first occupation license? Can you tell me a little bit about it? Because it's a question that, of course, some people ask.
Yes, so the first occupation license is a license that the town halls introduced from 1986. So the properties that are older than this date are not going to have it.
Okay.
But nowadays it's important to be sure that the property is correct from the point of view of the urbanistic planning.
Okay.
So nowadays, in the off-plan project, the developer, when they finish the construction, they need to ask for this license to the town hall.
Okay.
And sometimes the town hall takes their time, so until the developer doesn't have this license, they cannot deliver the property. So as soon as they are going to obtain this license, they are going to try to organize the completion, the signing of the title deed, at the notary. But they need to wait for this.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, and then we have the key ready. We call it here key ready or completion.
Key ready is after
and they can sign and they can enjoy the property.
Exactly.
Okay. What I also like is that you give an extra service to the clients. You know.
Yes, and I think it's very important because with this service, they don't have to take care of anything and they don't have any problems with the public and private organisms. So what we do is, after the completion, we are going to take care of matriculate the property in the land registry in the name of the buyer.
Okay.
We are going to take care of make the direct debits with the banks of the buyers.
Okay, that's great.
For the supplies, for the utilities, water, electricity, all of these things, so they don't have to take care of anything. And we also will pay the taxes on behalf of the buyers.
Fantastic. So it's really a key ready solution.
Exactly.
That's great. And let's talk a little bit about Spanish visas. How do I get a visa if I want to live here in Spain?
It depends on the circumstances of each person. The best known visas in our field are the so-called golden visa.
Okay.
Also the non-lucrative and lucrative residency, and the nomad visa, which is pretty new. Regarding the golden visa, the government are planning to eliminate the golden visa, but only in the way of an investment of 500,000 euros in real estate.
Okay.
But maybe they will maintain the other ways to obtain this kind of visa, but investing more funds. The possibilities of this are three, which are invest 2 million euros in Spanish public debt securities, or 1 million euros in shares or stock of Spanish companies with a real business activity, or 1 million euros in investment funds.
Okay.
So maybe these are the three ways that they are going to maintain.
Okay, perfect.
But nowadays, we are submitting applications of golden visa, and they are solving the favorable. So
okay, that's our good news.
We keep trying.
We have a window now open now until they decide to change it.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Then we have the non-lucrative visa for persons who are not working and they only have passive income.
Okay.
And they want to retire here in Spain and enjoy their property. Then the lucrative visa, which is most difficult because we need to make a business project. And it's more complicated, but we also work with this kind of visas. And the new one, which is the nomad visa for skilled workers that wants to live in Spain, but they want to maintain their job in their country, so they want to work remotely.
Okay,
and
fantastic.
This is another kind of visa that it's possible to take into account. Then, regards the European citizens, most people think that they don't have to make anything to live in Spain because they have freedom of mobility.
Okay, yes,
it is
of course.
true, they have this right. But if they want to live permanently in Spain, they don't have to ask for an authorization, but they have to regularize the situation by means of register as a European Union citizens.
Okay, okay, that's an important thing to know.
And then the last way that I can mention is that the family members of European citizens also can ask for the visa with this application as a family members. But it's not so easy as if you are European citizen.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's another kind of process.
And what are the costs involved?
Well, the cost of submit an application for a visa, it's not a lot because you only have to pay in Spain the fee for the application.
Okay.
But the most difficult thing in that cases are to obtain all the documents from the countries of of the clients, and the cost will depend on the costs of the documents that they obtain in their country.
Okay.
It's different between each country. So I cannot say exactly the cost because it differs from each country.
How long does it take?
The most important thing is the time that the client takes to obtain all the documents that are needed to submit the application.
Okay.
But at the end, when we have all the documents, in golden visa, in normal visa, and in non-lucrative visa, which the application has to be submitted from their country, it's 20 days from the day of the application. The most difficult is to obtain the documents before, but as soon as we have all the documents,
only 20 days.
It's 20 days
so fast
to have a decision. In the case of family members of European citizens and in lucrative visa, the times are longer. It takes three months, maybe 3 months,
Okay.
or more.
Well, and the last one, Elena, can I stay in the country more than 90 days if my application of the residency is in progress?
No. You need to be legal in Spain at the moment of submission of the application.
Okay, Elena, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Eduardo.
I really appreciate all the answers that you give us and to all our clients, okay? Have an excellent day.
Thank you.